Retired Life Foundation, we extend a very hearty welcome to all of you for this interesting and the relevant topic of power of connections. The connections or connectedness, whatever you call it, unity, bonding, that's the essence of life. To talk on this particular topic, we have with us our dear colleague, Dr. Alka Chadha. May I request Dr. Alka Chadha to please come forward and take over this session. Madam, floor is open.
Thank you so much, sir. First and foremost, the connection is made by you only to be able to speak to so many beautiful people here. And you all are like a powerhouse and a treasure of stories, experiences, which you share with us and we learn from you. So I think you are all my heroes, and I really salute all of you for coming together on this platform. And I salute both of you, sir, for setting up this platform for us to share our feelings and to interact with each other. So I want to ask you all one question that it is meant to be answered to yourself only. And the question is that how many people we have in our life who are close to us, with whom we can share our innermost secrets. You can answer it to yourself. Innermost secrets, our challenges, our innermost problems, our hopes, our aspirations, our dreams. How many people we have in our life whom we can wake up in the middle of the night if we have a problem? How many people are there in our life whom we can approach without being judged, without having the fear of being judged, that this is what is happening in my life. Can you please help me? And the third question is that how many people we have in our life whom we go out and we can help when they are in need of pain, they're miserable, they need help. These three questions we can answer to ourselves, and then we come to know what is our place and why connections are so important in life. So in our childhood, the first connection that we made was with our mother and our father. And if we talk about our connections in our life from our childhood times, the methods of connection was so beautiful. The mother, when she looks at the child through her eyes, what are the ways of connection? I'm just telling. Smiling at each other, like right now when we're looking at each other, looking at you, looking into your eyes. If I look at each person's eyes and you look into my eyes, that is one way of connecting. Smiling is a way of connecting. Hugging is a way of connecting. Laughing is a way of connecting. Talking and speaking is another way of connecting. Singing and dancing is another way of connection. As a child, as a baby, a newborn baby is born, the 16 inches space between the eye of the mother and the eye of the child is the distance which is required for the mother to make a connection with the baby. And you know what we have in our brain is called mirror neurons. My topic is basically neuroplasticity and neuroscience. I basically study a lot of that, and I reach out to everyone to explain what the connection or happiness or gratitude doing in our brain. So when the mother is looking at the baby and the baby is looking at the mother, there is a beautiful connection made. The mirror neurons of mine and the baby's neurons are resonating with each other. So when there is love flowing from the eyes of the mother, the love is reaching the eyes of the child and the brain is being activated. And they have done the scans of these small babies and they have seen all the parts of the brain are lit up. They're twinkling. The baby is very happy. The baby wants love. The baby wants attention. The baby wants affection. And that is the starting point of connection in our lives. And they say that the love that the baby wants starts when the baby is born and even before that, but the need for love never finishes. Till the person dies, the need for love is always there. And it is our need to fulfill this need for our love that we have within ourselves. So these mirror neurons are not only in children and in mothers, the mirror neurons are there in adults also. So when we talk to each other, when let us say we are watching a violent movie, the same thoughts are being created in our head. And if you look at the person who is watching a movie with violence or with bloodshed or with anything like that, you will find there will be grimace and frowning, and there will be some bad kind of face on the person who is watching the movie, as compared to a person who is watching a romantic movie or a child and mother's pyar ka movie, a love movie. And it could be the feelings which is being conveyed in the movie is being translated in the person who is watching the movie. And because of that, the good feelings are being generated. So when we talk of love, when we talk of beauty, when we talk of peace, we talk of calmness, we talk of forgiveness, we talk of gratitude. These are the feelings that are being inculcated in our body, in our mind, in our thoughts. So when we talk to each other, when we are complaining about somebody, when we are, saying something bad about somebody, then the same thing is happening and negativity is being created, and the negative hormones are being created, and the stress hormones are being created, and that is cortisol and epinephrine. Whereas the happy hormones are four. It is called DOSE, dopamine, and we have oxytocin. Right now, when I'm talking to you guys, when I'm looking at all your faces, I'm getting oxytocin a lot in my body, and you're also getting oxytocin in your body. What is oxytocin? When the baby is born and the baby needs to suckle on the mother's breast, at that time, this hormone is secreted in the mother and in the baby to enhance the connection between the mother and the baby. And this hormone doesn't finish at that time. It continues to be secreted in the body by the brain. And that is why we keep getting this beautiful connective feelings. When you hug someone, you're hugging a baby or cuddling a baby, or you're hugging your partner or your friend or anybody. When we meet, we hug everybody. And that is such a beautiful feeling. When we hug for 7 to 10 seconds, it means that we are secreting little bit of oxytocin and little bit of dopamine and a lot of serotonin. But friends, when we increase the duration of our embrace with anybody, it increases the quantity of oxytocin, and the effect lasts for more longer time. So mother's connection to the baby is unique. I'm going to read a poem later on for you. But point I'm trying to make is, how does a woman like my mother, how did she make the connection in the children or with the whole world? I remember when we were children, she used to always give me a dabba of some khana. She's preparing, let us say, some sweet, some firni she's preparing. So she used to say, go and give in the neighbor's house. So I was the eldest, so I used to say, what, mommy? Every time you keep telling me to do this. So she says, go and give it to them. Then I used to go every time and I used to give it to them. Then they will come with that same dabba. They were Gujaratis actually, and they will make some fafda and some dhokla, and they will bring it to our house. Like this cycle used to go on continuing. So when we talk about neighbors, I was hearing somebody telling the other day what kind of neighbors we have, and people are lamenting, But I think even today we have very good neighbors. The question is, what kind of neighbor I am? Am I a good neighbor? So am I making the dishes and I'm going to them, giving to them? So I'll tell you, some 3-4 days before, in my clinic, in my next building, one lady is staying. She comes for the Padma. Her name is Padma. She is actually my yoga class student also. And she just at 11:30 in the morning, she came to the clinic. And she just rushed into my room, and she had got something, some in the kapde ka bag. She was holding something, and she opened it and she said, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. I got some food for you. I want you to eat it right now. I said, wait, Padma, I have a patient just now. Just wait for 1 minute. No, 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 no. I told her, just wait for 5 minutes outside. I will just call you. So I don't think that the neighbors are bad. The neighbors are good. And we can just look at them and we can find out, that how much of love there is in them, oozing out from them. My mother used to do a lot of knitting. And I remember for every child which was born in the family after me, there was always a small sweater she used to give to that person. Even when the children became big, she was knitting those sweaters and she was presenting it to them. She was very good in crochet, and she was very good in tatting, and she was very good in embroidery also. My mother-in-law, she's 86 years of age. Today also, she makes a connection with embroidery. So she will ask us, can you make this design? So we buy her a piece of cloth and we just put the design or that butter paper, and she embroider over here in the neck region and in the asteen, and a beautiful dress is made. Then we give it to the tailor, and the tailor stitches the kurta from that. So point I'm trying to make is somebody may say, how can I make a connection? But we can make a connection depending on what qualities we have. And if we look at what we were doing as children, we were connecting with each other by fighting and by playing. I remember my parents shouting, why you all are fighting so much? So if I look back at the time we were fighting, those were the times of love. Those were the times of bonding. And when we remember those times of fighting, I really laugh so much, and I feel that was our love that made us fight. You cannot fight if you don't have love with each other. If you don't fight, means something is really wrong. So I remember my sister, she used to be an air hostess, and she used to be very meticulous in ironing all the clothes and everything. And we were four sisters. And she was my third sister. I was the eldest, and my last sister. So these two car difference was only 3 years. And I remember this girl, she used to iron all the clothes and the tops and everything, and she used to keep it in the cupboard. And she used to go. And when she came back after 15 days, my second sister, that fourth sister, who's an ophthalmologist now, she was in the medical college. So she used to wear all the clothes which were ironed nicely and kept. And when she came back, she used to fight. She used to say, "Why have you used my clothes?" So she said, "Why they were ironed and kept." So I used it. And this was like, every time this was happening, and every time she was washing, and every time she was ironing, and she was keeping, and every time we were using it. So these were the methods of connection, I would say. Today, if we look at the types of connection that we have, the likes are our connection. The number of people who saw our post is our connection. And I was talking to some youngsters. So they are actually addicted to social media, and that is their connection. And I was asking one of my niece, she was telling me, I love how much she got. 1 lakh followers she got, the followers and the likes and all that. So 1 lakh followers. So I said, Tanisha beta, anybody will be there for you when you are needing some help. So she said, what, Masi, you're talking like that. But the truth is that these followers and these likes are not going to get us anywhere. And today, if we actually see in our youngsters, the amount of depression, the amount of loneliness is increasing day by day. You know why? All of us know the reason. You all know, we know that these children are sitting in the confines of their own room. They're hardly going out. There is hardly human connection. They're not playing. We used to play games, I think, till night 8:39, till we were given a beating. Then we used to not come back home only. My mother used to shout that I'm not going to let you come inside the house. Then we used to cry, 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 and so she used to pull us into the house. So much we used to be playing. And badminton also we used to play. That skipping rope was there, that we used to play. And I remember we had this mango trees in Anushakti Nagar. My dad is from BARC. We used to have these mango trees, and afternoons, when everybody is sleeping, when we were coming back from school, we were plucking our mangoes. All the children from that particular square area, the 4 buildings making a square, we used to collect together, some girls, some boys. We used to pluck all the green mangoes and we used to put it in a frock and we used to run. That was our way of connecting with each other. And today, when we think about all those stories, we really laugh. And when we meet all those friends, we sit and we ask each other, how was that feeling? And we connect now also because of that feeling. So we were connected with nature. Today, our children, they are connected with the social media, Instagram. Before even they're eating the food, they're taking the picture of the food to show to the world what they're eating. Before they buy the dress, they are actually showing to the world that I bought this dress. And then when they don't get the number of likes, or they don't get the number of people who have seen their particular post, there is going down. The validation that our children need today is really sad. So the point is that they are not connecting with their own selves. We as children, we were taught to connect with our own selves. I don't know about you, but I do. My father, he was telling all the time, self-realization. I never understood self-realization. He used to give me books of Gita to read. I never understood that time. But one thing I understood, when he used to tell us, 4 of us were there, or if one was there, 2 were there, he was telling us, sit in silence, close your eyes, just sit in silence. And when we sit in silence, our mind, our दृष्टि जैसे जो सृष्टि में जाती है, वो हमारे अंदर जाती है. हमारी जो पर्सपेक्टिव है, हम अपने अंदर देखना शुरू करते हैं. और जब हम अपने अंदर देखते हैं, तब हमें अपने अंदर की कहानी समझ आती है कि हम क्या गलती कर रहे हैं. It's about being mindful, So when we connect with ourselves, we understand ourselves better. Okay, when I'm thinking like, where did I speak wrong? Was I rude to somebody? So, it's very easy for us to say, so-and-so was rude to us. So-and-so did this to us. But when we actually start, analyzing ourselves, it could be that we provoked that person to be rude to us. We spoke in a tone, we spoke in a voice, which was harsh. And we, stimulated that person to speak rudely to us. And then we say, I forgive you. Who are we to forgive anybody? I let go. We are nobody because we are the creator of the situation. So when we start going within ourselves, when we start thinking of our own life, what we are doing with ourselves, what we are behaving, what we are thinking, what we are talking, because words, when they come out of our mouth, when they are gone to somebody else, it is hurting someone else, and that damage cannot be changed. That damage turns into a scar, and that person will remember it forever. So some of these things I remember as a child, what we were doing when we were connecting, we were fighting. And I'll tell you, my mom, morning time, there used to be marathon in the house. We were 4 children going to school, college, and my papa was going to office. My mother was doing a marathon from the kitchen to the drawing room, and then from my bedroom, I will ask, "Where is my book?" And she used to come running from there. And one more thing I'll tell you, we were so rude. I think I was rude. I don't know about everybody. I was shouting at my mom that time, "Where did you keep my poetry book? Where is my notebook?" And she would just come running from the kitchen, and she used to give that particular book to me. And then she used to go back to the kitchen and she used to start doing that work. And I've written a poem on this, how she was rushing up and down in the running a marathon. People say that mummies can't run marathon, but my mummy used to run a marathon every day, looking after my grandfather, my dad, and 4 of us. And she would eat her lunch or her breakfast after 11 o'clock. One thing more I remember about mothers is that whenever we were late in the evening, when we grew up a little more, we came home, let us say our time was to come home at 7 o'clock, and we didn't come home at 7. And, we used to all have our dinner together. Those days were just fantastic. We had a table like this long table. My dad used to sit at the head of the table, and all 4 of us, my granddad, my mom, and we are all sitting over here. My mom used to hardly sit. My mom was always bringing the garam garam chapatis from the kitchen. And if one child was not there, my dad used to be a little upset, and he used to say, "If you don't come on time, you will not get food," and something like that. But my mom, she never said that. What she was doing, first, the person who has not come, she would take the plate, she would put the roti, sabji, and everything, cover it with another plate, and keep it on the side. That was such a touching situation, that she didn't punish us because we were late. She told my dad, they must be late because they must be busy. She had that full trust in us, and she gave us that upbringing was like this, that she never, penalized us for anything like that. If we came late, she said, you must be busy. And she used to keep our food like that. So 2 things happened with this. One thing was that we've got a feeling of belonging. We felt the warmth in her love, and we felt really good when we were required in the part of the family, and we never ate out. Even if I remember, my friend would tell me, come, let us have a sandwich, come, let us have a samosa. I used to say, no, my mother has kept food for me, and that food will go waste. So I'm never going to have food outside. So 3 or 4 things I remember, the ways of connection, how our parents were doing with us, and what we are doing today. So today, my own son, he's having a little baby boy now, and he's about 11 or 10 and a half months now. And the 10 and a half months baby, I take him out in the garden, and I tell him we should go to the nature, and we should make him connect with nature, and we should make him play in the water, and all of this greenery, we used to go, and we have to go. So, you know what? My son is telling me that is all right, but there will be other children, he will catch infection, he will do this. And like when they take the child to the mall, in the mall, there is all kinds of infection. In one place I saw, there were so many children over there. And today, our children, the small children, 8 or 9 months old children, are exposed to the mall culture. They are not having, as it is, we all have attention deficit disorder. All of us, you, me, everyone. I have it specially because when I'm doing something and I want to make a call to somebody and I switch on my phone, first my WhatsApp opens, and then I get distracted, and then I start thinking, "Arey, kisko phone karne ka tha?" And then I go back, I close my eyes and I close my phone, and then say, I'm going to ring up this person. So I'm going to dial only this person. I'm going to open this person's name, and I'm going to dial only that person's name. So point I'm trying to make is that children today, we take them to the malls, and the mall culture is destroying the neurons of our children. The neurons of the children, the brain development starts at 0 and it completes it at 3 years of age. Maximum completion takes place at 2 years of age. And till that time, if whatever we want to teach to the child is going to get focused and is going to get significantly going inside the baby's brain, and the brain development is going to take. Also, whatever we are feeding the child, if we feed them oily things, we feed them fried things, they develop the taste, because the brain and the tongue are having a relationship together. So we can be very careful about what we are feeding our children. I remember in my waiting room, there was one lady, because she could not quieten her child. She was holding the game in front of her and she was feeding Coca-Cola. So I told her, with the bottle she was giving Coca-Cola. It was a very small child. So she said, ma'am, I can't help it. She's crying and she's making so much of noise. So I carried the Coca-Cola with me. I'm feeding her with the bottle so that she becomes quiet. But what happened was, after some time, she became more violent because that Coca-Cola is not going to agree with the child's body and with the child's mind. Now, what are the other methods of looking into the eye? Then I remember the other methods of connection. There used to be one auntie in my building. She never had any children, and she considered the building children to be her own children. And she got her happiness from talking to us, from decorating us, and she helped us to take part in all the programs of the terrace or the building program that we were having. And today also she's about 87, 88 years of age, and I meet her and we talk about those days and we laugh and we we really enjoy. What she used to do was she used to make somebody a table decoration. Once she made me into a Statue of Liberty. And wherever we went, in college or in any competitions, anywhere on any platform, we always got the first prize. That was her gift to us, and that was her way of connecting to us. And she always told everybody, these are my children. And sometimes we are in the victim mode. We keep telling, oh, I don't have children, how can I be happy? But she taught me how we can be happy without anything. She was never complaining about anything. She just made the most beautiful connections in everybody's lives. And we all children, and when we meet, all of us, the group of our school children and our building people, when we meet, we're all the time remembering Narurkar auntie. Now, what else I have to talk to you? Dabbas, I've told you. Sweater, crochet, I've told you. Recently, I was standing in a temple, and somebody came and stopped the car in front of me. It was a very big car. I don't know if it was BMW or which one it was. I don't know. And I was thinking, who is this person? So he opened the door and he told me, get inside the car. So very nice couple it was, lady and man. I said, sir, I don't know you, and I would like to really know who are you and where are you going? So he told me that you're Dr. Manohar Lal's daughter. I said, yes. Just come inside. I'll drop you wherever you are. So I said, sir, where are you going? Which direction are you going? And he was actually going in the opposite direction. And I didn't know that until he dropped me. And the whole way he was talking to me, how my dad was giving lift to other people, how my dad was taking people from the home to the mandir. Point I was thinking was that, how am I doing that? I don't care about the rest of the world. Am I helping? Whom am I helping? Just by going every day to the temple and coming back from the temple, he made so many connections. And he would say to me, I remember that, क्या फर्क पड़ता है सब लोग जा रहे हैं. And after the mandir ka, I remember the lecture was over, he used to come and stand outside the temple. I used to also visit the temple with my dad sometimes, and I used to tell him, Papa, I'm getting late, let us go. He said, no, if you want to go, you take a rickshaw and you go. I have to wait for 3 people and they're going to come now and I have to take them home. So that was the kind of connections that he made. And I cannot tell you that when my father went away, I cannot tell you that what people came and told me and what they were talking about, the things that he did. And I tell you one thing, friends, we don't need anything money, or we don't need any accomplishments, or we don't need to be great and good looking, and we don't need anything. Just making a connection is such a small little thing. And in our group, if we have someone who is not coming regularly, just keep a note of that. We have several groups in our life, small groups we have. If somebody is not responding, it would be a good idea to either talk to him personally, to ring him up personally. Because recently in my group, it happened like that there was a doctor. She was not coming up on the WhatsApp at all. She was not at all talking, and she was not responding at all, which she was doing earlier. And one of our friends went to her house, knocked at the door. She would not open the door. And then we called the police and we opened the door. She was alive, friends, but she had not eaten for 3 to 4 days. And the maid servant was telling that I'm knocking, knocking, knocking. She's not opening the door. The point was that her children were somewhere else and she was alone. She was our age only, 60, 65, and she was not eating. She had gone into deep depression because of loneliness, and her phone had gone dead, and there was no way to talk to her by her children also, because 3 4 days her phone had lost the battery. I'm just saying that if it's our duty, in our group, if we feel that somebody is really lonely, we can reach out in some way or the other to find out how the friend is doing. My dad and my mom had a beautiful relationship, but when my mom passed away, my dad could not take it. And no matter how many people he had as his own friends, and his friends used to come and sit with me, sit with him, talk to him, ask him to go with him, ask him to take him out, and all that everybody was doing. But my dad could not come out of the disconnection that he had made himself. And the reason that this happened was that he lost his purpose of his life after my mom went. So I think we all can understand our feelings with each other, with our spouses, with our children, with everybody, and the different ways of connection we can have our own ways of connection, how to do it, new ways of connection we can make. And most important responsibility that we have is to reach out to our children, because they are somewhere making some mistake, I feel, because of the money that they have, or because of the busyness of their lives, whatever it may be. I think it is time that our children should connect with nature. Taking, we used to have small picnics when we were younger. What we used to take a bag, some food my mom used to make, some water, and something, some small chitbit, some snacks, and we used to go and sit in a garden anywhere with some chadar on the garden. And we used to have so much fun. While we went in the bus together, we sang songs, and my dad used to make us sing songs of patriotic songs, Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram. And all of those things, connection was coming, and he told us so many stories, and he told us taught us so many songs. So we have to innovate our methods of connection with our children, with our grandchildren, and take them out for holidays which are not expensive. These children, they want to go for such expensive holidays, expensive destination holidays, expensive destination weddings, and which I find is a total waste of the money. Where is a child going to understand which hotel are you taking him? For that matter, I feel when I go to a small town, when I go to a village for a holiday, I enjoy that place much more. I make more connection with the people in that place, rather than sitting in a five-star hotel in a room like that quietly and not being able to connect with anybody. So one more thing I want to tell you. I just see my points where I have left something. So connection, friends, is completely natural. It is innate. It is found in animals also. And yesterday, I don't know if you have seen one video. It has been going around. It's of a bird. It's a hornet, they say, Hornet. And she has lost her husband actually in that. And how she is taking the dead body of her husband, that bird, it's like a makhi. Makhi samajhte hain na? Fly.
Yeah, hornbill.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful video where she's taking the dead body of her husband and taking it away to another place to make a very respectable burial for that. So what I'm trying to make is tell is that we are connected, but the animals are also very much connected. And the need to help each other is innate in us. It is innate and it is natural in us. And let me tell you, friends, that when we connect, and the family is the first organization that we come across. What the family means to you, what the family means to me is most important. I think it's the first organization. And what core value systems that we are inculcating in the family is what is connection, which is being established as a core values in a child. If we are not disciplined as parents, our children are never going to be disciplined. If we are watching the television all the time and connecting with the television or the mobile phone and not connecting with our children, then it is not going to work. Recently, I was looking at one child who had come in my clinic, and the mother was telling me actually, she was, I think, in 10th or 9th standard. So the mother was telling me full day she is on the computer, on the WhatsApp. So what was the child's response? Mom, What are you doing whole day? I was so shocked. So if the mummy is watching the video the whole day, or she's on the WhatsApp the whole day, how is the child, what is the child going to learn? Can we be role models for our children, for our grandchildren? If we are going to watch the news and the television the whole day, and then we tell our child at 10 o'clock, come on, time to sleep, go and sleep. Is the child going to sleep? No, he will never feel like sleeping. If we don't get up early in the morning to go for a walk and we expect our child to go into exercise, it's not going to happen. So I feel that disciplining ourselves is one of the methods of being mindful of our own lives. And when we do the things that we really want to, what our children should follow us, then we can be the role models and we can change the lives of ourselves and of our children. And that will bring about a beautiful connectivity between us and the children. And that is a source of our happiness. We keep saying that our children don't listen to us, and the teenagers, mothers who come to me, they're always saying the same thing. My child doesn't listen to me, my daughter doesn't listen to me. But my question is, in the connection part, the most important part about connection is listening. So are we listening to our children? Our children are coming out with so many ideas, so many beautiful things. And if we keep on comparing ourselves with our times, we were very obedient, our times we were doing this, our times we were doing that, they're not going to like it. Our children have changed, the whole era has changed, the full life has changed. Artificial intelligence has come in over here today. And, the systems of automation and technology have changed the lives forever. It is for us, to change our thinking patterns and make our affirmations in such a way that we empower ourselves to listen to our new generation, take their ideas and go together and we grow together. Otherwise, there is going to be end of our generation, and we will get so rusted and we will get so frustrated actually, because everyone is talking only this: my children don't listen to me, my children don't listen to me. But the question is that, are we listening to our children? And I can tell you, friends, there are so many stories in my life. There was this yoga teach in my yoga class, used to come, and her child was in 12th standard. And he said that, Mom, you want me to get good marks? Then I want a table, I want a chair, and I want an AC. And she came in, she asked me this question that I can't afford to buy all these three things for my child. What am I supposed to do? I said, don't do it. Just let him study. You tell him, I don't have the money to buy these things. So you got to study, and I'm collecting the money. I will buy it for you whenever I have the money, and tell him the truth. But what she did was something different. She took a loan, she bought him the table, she bought him the chair, and she bought him the air conditioner. And at the end of the 12th standard, he got some 55% marks. And then she came to me and then she was crying. I said, it's okay, no problem. You tried your best to give whatever you can to your child. Now don't fight with your child, because what she was telling me was, it was drifting her child away from her. What she told me was, I told him, I've done this for you, I've done this for you, I've done this for you, and yet you're not getting the marks. Friends, I want to ask one question. Each child is having his own capacity, his own capability, his own potential, his own talent of getting the marks. Can we tell them that if I give you this, you must get this many marks? It is not possible. So if we go and do these things to our children, we go away from our children. That is not the way. And I feel a 10th standard child or a 9th standard child, or any child for that matter, needs a lot of love and affection. And do we love our children because of their marks and their performances and their accomplishments? I don't think so. Anyway, we have to give them unconditional love. We were 4 sisters, and I don't think that there was any hustle in our life ki you should become a doctor or you should become an engineer. My father never bothered. My father was coming back in the evening from office, and at that time, 6:37, we were girls, we were playing down, and we used to have a skipping rope. One end X is catching, one end Y is catching, and we were jumping in that rope. And he used to keep his bag in the side, and he used to start jumping in that rope with us. And that was a connection with our father we had. And I remember telling him all about my school things. We have to keep the communication channels open. So I used to tell, so-and-so boy approached me, so-and-so boy was teasing me. And although, I had in my cupboard, I had written down on one side, no looking at boys. Because I wanted to become a doctor and I wanted to focus on my studies. I had this written down on the left side of my cupboard, no looking at boys. But even then, there used to be some instances, someone said something, and I used to go and tell my dad everything. Each and everything what happened in the school, I used to go and tell. And the communication should be such between the children and the parents that the children should not be scared of parents. Today, I'm seeing that the mummy is telling the child, if you don't get so many marks, if you get so many marks, I'll buy you this. If you don't get so many marks, then I will not buy you this. This is like, you're telling your child that you're not good enough. And if you're good enough only, I'm going to give you so and so thing. It's really sad. So in my house, there was no hustle. My father never cared. You become a doctor, you become an engineer, you become a whatever you want to become. He used to just tell ki, tumhara jo creativity hai, just let the creativity juices keep flowing. And my mom used to come in the night and close our books. We don't want you to study so much. Enough is enough now. And those were that time parents, they never bothered what you should become, what you should not become. They said, you become a doctor if you want to become, no problem. But don't kill yourself for becoming a doctor. But I think that was a great approach. And today, if we can embrace our children and if we can embrace our family members for who they are and, show them how valuable they are, we can show our children and our parents and our relatives and our friends how valuable they are to us. How many of us are doing that? My dad used to write letters. A lot of letters he's written to me, and I preserved my letters so nicely. And I got into the habit of writing letters to my children. And I used to think, I've got two boys, such a waste of time writing the letters to these people. But let me tell you one thing. When I write these letters to my daughter-in-law or to my son, I feel good about it. I don't care whether they're reading it, they're not reading it, but something very beautiful happened recently. One of my younger son's friend is getting married. He came down from London and they were sitting in their own room. My son is married for 7 years and they were sitting in their own room and they were chit-chatting and having a session. And I just happened to go to the room and to ask them whether they needed tea or coffee or something like that. So I saw him closing one file. So I said, what is that, Anu? What happened? What is that file? No. I cannot tell you what it is. So no, I said, you have to tell me. You have closed that file, what it is. So his friend told me that, Auntie, all your letters know what you have written from childhood. He's put it in a file and he has kept it. So they actually read those letters. And one day I remember my elder son told me that, don't talk about those letters to me. But he wrote one small sentence in WhatsApp. Please don't stop writing to me those letters. And that keeps me alive, friends. There are so many things that we cannot tell our children or our spouses or our friends directly, but we can write a handwritten letter to them. Not only writing in WhatsApp. WhatsApp is come and gone. Writing in the WhatsApp is, I feel, is the most stupid thing to do, but writing a handwritten letter, posting it to your friend, it will remain in their heart, in their soul forever. And more than sending them the letter, the service that we are doing is to our own self. We are connecting with our own self and we are feeling so, so happy. There is one mantra that I like to use and I'm sharing it with you. That mantra is, it is nice to be nice. So when we say something nice about someone, we feel nice. When we appreciate someone, when I'm saying, Miruna, you're looking so nice today, or we are saying, Veena, you're doing a great job today, or whoever is there, Modi sir is there, or each one is sitting over here, Nitya is there, your color of your dress is so beautiful. So when we are sharing these things, when we're appreciating things, there is positivity coming in us. The positive hormones are making a trench in our brain. You know how a pathway is made in the brain? I'll tell you. Supposing, let us say a mountain is there. And how do we make a pathway in the mountain? जो पानी गिरता है माउंटेन के ऊपर, धीरे धीरे पानी गिरता है. एक नहर बनने के लिए, एक स्ट्रीम बनने के लिए माउंटेन के ऊपर टाइम लगता है. कितना टाइम लगता है? सालों साल लग जाते हैं एक स्ट्रीम बनने के लिए. उसी तरह से in our brain, when we talk about the loving things, the beautiful things, the pleasant things, the respectable things, the beautiful things, the awesome things, that same pathway is made in our brain. And we get positive hormones. And when we feel good about ourselves and a well-being is created within ourselves. Friends, if we really want to have this feeling of well-being, connecting to people in our lives, connecting to our friends, to our relatives, to our children, to our parents, to each one of you is great. And, praising each other, appreciating even the people in our own family. Sometimes, we take each other for granted. We take our spouse for granted. We take our children for granted. We don't praise them. So we should take an opportunity, whether it's a birthday or any day. I feel that birthday is not a special day. I feel that anniversary is not a special day. Every day is our birthday and every day is our anniversary. And if we can say good things about each other, then we get into the habit of looking for good in our life, in our atmosphere, in our environment, and we get that habit, and that trench or that rasta or that pathway is created in our brain. I would like to take you for a small meditation. If you don't mind, I can play some music and then I will show you some pictures at the end. Is that all right? 2 minutes meditation. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Thank you. I'll play some music actually. It's a flute music I want to play. Where is it going? I'm so strong. I'm grateful. Thank you, God. Beautiful life, for the beautiful body, mind, for my spirit. I thank you for my body, for my feet, I can walk, for my hands, that I can do all the work with my hands. I can eat, I can write, I can read. Thank you, God, for my brain, for my eyes. I can see the creation that you have created. I can hear sound of nature, the rustling of the leaves. I can see the sky, the cool breeze. I can talk. Thank you, God, for my mouth, for my tongue, for my skin, for all my sense organs, for my entire body. Thank you, God, for my organs. Each and every organ is working in harmony with the other organ. My stomach, intestines, my liver, my spleen, kidneys, and each and every organ is working in harmony. My heart is beating incessantly and is filled with love and affection. And my lungs are breathing minute to minute, moment to moment. And I'm so grateful for the beautiful lungs in my heart that you have given me. Thank you, Lord, for the beautiful body, my mind, my spirit, my spine, my vertebral column is very, very healthy. When I take my attention to each and every organ of my body, I create positivity, I create dopamine, I create oxytocin, and I give my love to each and every organ, each and every part. I'm so grateful, so happy, so full of love, and so full of compassion, and so full of spreading this love and compassion to everywhere in my environment. Thank you, everyone. I'll just show one or two slides which I have kept just to make you feel such beautiful slides I have. Can you see? You cannot see, right? I'll just put it on.
No, we can't.
Yeah, I've just shared the screen actually.
Zoom करो.
Mm. Can you see now?
Yes, you can see now.
Yes, I'm just showing one or two slides about connection, and the connection doesn't need anything. It just needs the meeting of two hearts and two souls, and how we can share our feelings with each other, innermost feelings, how we can laugh with each other, how we can smile at each other. They could be smoking something, ganja or something. I don't even know what they're having in their hands. But that is the beauty about connection. The mother, when she looks into the eyes of the baby, is connection. And I always love this Helen Keller's thing, the quote: the most beautiful things in life cannot be seen or touched, they can only be felt by the heart. And just some nice pictures I got. And this I want to really read because this is Khalil Gibran. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. I just love this sentence. For life goes not backward, but it moves forward. And this is just, I wanted to share how animals also have so much of love within themselves. And there is some kind of magic when we make some connection. If you look at some children playing amongst themselves, there is some kind of magic in connection. When was the last time that we laughed with our hearts out? And I can remember when we meet each other in our face-to-face meetings, that is how I laugh with everybody. This is a child's face when she's so happy. Just some few pictures I had, so I wanted to share it. So connection is a feeling of belonging. When we are in a group also, we have that feeling of belonging, that feeling that we are included in a particular group. We feel welcomed by people. We feel seen, we feel known, we feel supported, we feel accepted and cared for, and we feel friendly and needed. And that is the need of human connection. That is a need which is natural, that we all need to be loved by others. The different ways of connection that we are doing is cooking together. And if a mother can give a responsibility to the children, I feel that the greatest gifts that we can give our children are the roots of responsibility and the wings that they can be independent. They can do this. They can waste a little bit of food here and there, friends. It's all right. But then they can become responsible. And, having a dinner together, all of us together, is the best thing that we can do to connect with each other. Playing in nature, just, not having an agenda. I've seen my sister, when she starts talking to her son, she will start talking something and then she will come to some agenda. They come to know. My son used to come to know when he was small, I used to start talking. He said, Mama, what do you want me to do? He used to ask me, what is it that you want me to do? So that's what. And asking our children to connect with nature. This is what I wanted to just share. And creativity, let them waste the paint, let them make their clothes dirty, let them go in the mud, let them do whatever they want. That makes their brain happy and that makes them feel connected to us. These are just some pictures. I've been learning cycling with my dad, and this is how, when we were playing music together, my dad and all of us used to play music together, dhol and everything we used to do together. So just I wanted to share these pictures that instead of going to a 5-star hotel, it's just nice to be together. And as elders, we can leave a legacy for our children about ways we can connect with each other. And letting go of our worries and everything makes us connect more. And letting go of the being judgment and having prejudices about other person's behavior, that's how we can connect much, much better. This is a lady whom I met recently, and she had lost her husband and her daughter in the accident which happened in Taj 2008, and she started a peace movement. And she said there was a loss of connection that time, the people who killed her child and her husband, but she did not take it into victimhood, and she went ahead and she started a peace summit movement, trying to connect with the whole of the world and helping everyone to connect with each other. Ultimately, it is in our hands how we can be happy, how we can connect with our own selves, and how we can connect with the world. And only you can make you happy. Instead of putting the blame on anybody else that you are doing this, you are doing that, I can make myself happy. And the best way to make myself happy is to have self-love and to connect with my own self. I just took these pictures of some children I met in the Jhopparpatti, and I found that they were so happy. I wanted to share. And a smile, a beautiful smile makes you so attractive. And a smile is the best way that we can connect with others. Happiness is just a state of mind, friends, and the world and everything in it is as beautiful as you perceive it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope there's some time that I want to share. I want people to share with me also. I think
fantastic speech, Dr. Alka. Fantastic speech.
I spoke too much, I know, but I don't know when to stop. That's
and another thing I want to tell you. जब हम फ्लाइट्स में जाते हैं हस्बैंड के साथ, there's a beautiful time to spend with, because डे टू डे लाइफ में बिजी हो जाते हैं, and फ्लाइट्स में जो ये से जाते हैं hours together, we can sit together, we can discuss our programs, we can discuss our plans. There's a beautiful time, and I slightly differ with you. The beginning में आपने बताया, because we go together, because इतना लाइफ में continuously hours together एक साथ बैठने का टाइम मिलता ही नहीं है, मिलता नहीं माने बैठते ही नहीं है, हम लोग अपने अपने ड्यूटीज में बिजी रहते हैं. So there's a traveling time is a beautiful time to spend with each other. And the second point I want to tell you is I have got one sister, we never fought. मेरा वीक पॉइंट्स का वो मुझे टीच करती थी, और उसका मेरा स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट्स का वो सीखती थी, और उसका स्ट्रॉन्ग पॉइंट्स का मैं सीखती थी. एंड ड्रेसेस एंड ऑल वी यूज्ड टू शेयर, एंड कोई भी कुछ सिंगिंग कंपटीशन माने उससे कंसल्ट करती थी मैं. वी नेवर फॉट, एंड टिल नाउ आल्सो वी नेवर फॉट. अब बोलते हैं ना फाइटिंग से लव बढ़ता है करके, बट हमारे बीच में लव बॉन्ड इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग विदाउट एनी फाइटिंग. तो मैंने सोचा these 2 points I want to tell you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing.
Alka ji, actually, in the childhood, we have emotions, kindness, weeping, crying. But as we grow up slowly, this vanishes slowly. Why it is happening?
What? As we grow up?
These emotions gradually go away.
No. They never go away.
No, never.
Some emotions are there, but this kindness, जो दया दिखाने की भावना होती है, वो सब तो धीरे धीरे खत्म हो जाता है.
नहीं.
I don't agree.
बिल्कुल भी.
Madam Alka, I want to add something to what you said.
Yeah, please do.
What you said was absolutely beautiful. But the question is about, say, for example, sharing the time with the children. Say, right from 8th standard onwards, the children get so busy because of the competition. Going to the school, coming back at 2:30, rushing back for tuitions, and then doing some homework. And by the time they are totally exhausted, there's no time to play, and they just eat and somehow try to finish the homework and sleep. Now that's at that stage. But once you come to 11th and 12th, seeing the competition, not that you want them to compete, but seeing the competition around, they themselves stress so much that they put the stress on the parents also. I remember for my grandchildren, 2 grandchildren, we switched off the TV and removed it from the hall, because as you said, We cannot see that movie or TV and at the same time expect that our children will not do it. Fortunately, it's that they did very well. One was in Bangalore, IISc, one went to IIT Madras. But the question is, it's not the desirement of us that, I mean, I used to always tell them that, look, if you don't get admission there, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the life. So take it easy. But the situation around, or the children that they see around, their colleagues, their teachers, their parents also, they get so much stressed that, it's something very, very funny to look at 40 years back, 50 years back when we were children, what was the life there and the life now. They have no time to play. They have lost their childhood actually. So, and I don't see there is any solution to these things these days. What do you have to comment
I have
on
seen
that?
some parents, I go to various schools and I talk to parents. I'm working for Bharat Vikas Parishad, and I met a father. Till today, in my 15, 20 years of life of social interaction with the school children and parents, I met one father till today. He said that I don't have TV in my house, and I make it compulsory for my children to go and play. And he told me that the classes that the children are going, I will see only what is required for the child, whatever his creativity is demanding, I send that child for that class. So in so many years of my life, I found only one parent like that. So it's difficult. It's very difficult. And I really don't have any answer to that. Because now I'm going to have, my grandchildren will be growing up. So in there also, I don't have a say, because their parents will take the decision for them, Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're losing their childhood. Absolutely.
Thank you. And isolation is really the killer these days, actually. If somebody is left alone and he has nobody to share his thoughts with or nobody to hear him, I think that's the worst situation he can get in. And depression is the start of that. And that is the start of dementia, actually. Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yes. So,
loneliness.
Yeah. So loneliness is the biggest killer. It is equal to having 15 to 20 cigarettes per day, equal to obesity, equal to, I already told this, I think, in the beginning. And when we do the connectivity part in our lives, and we connect with friends and relatives and everybody, when we talk to people, when we hug people, we touch people, what is happening is that we get a sense of belonging, and our blood pressure falls, our heart disease falls, our pulse falls, and the feeling of wellness starts coming in. And if you remember, if you were hugging in your childhood or in your young age, you will realize that negativity also goes away. If you have a fight with your spouse or with your sister or with your brother, and then you just go and hug that person, the negativity is gone, the fight is over, and the positivity starts setting in.
Absolutely
And that
right.
is what we want. And that is what we want. And it improves your immune system. And the people who are not connected, they go negative, and it helps to decrease their immune system, and the inflammatory diseases like diabetes, like hypertension and cancer. These are the things which are coming in us because of lack of expression of our feelings, and because of keeping hatred, anger, greed, jealousy in all of us. So point I'm trying to make is, let us change all these negative emotions into beautiful, loving emotions. Keep love inside our hearts and let go. वो कहते हैं ना, 3 चीजें बोलते हैं, सबर और बर्दाश्त और नजरअंदाज. ये 3 चीजें.
This is beautiful, actually.
पेशेंस रखेंगे और टॉलरेंस रखेंगे और नजरअंदाज करेंगे, तो ही हम खुश रह सकते हैं.
Very nice.
That is very, 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 very important.
Nicely said.
Thank you
Wonderful.
so. Thank you.
Very well said. Very nice.
I'm so happy for this opportunity given to me. Thank you, Sen Gupta sir, and thank you all of you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alka. Thank you very much.
मजा आ गया. जय गुरुदेव.
Thank you, sir. Fantastic. Excellent.
Thank you for the fantastic lecture. We loved it.
So nice.